and welcome to my kitchen. We are going to have so much fun on today's show. Normally I'd be up here showing you how to make some great meals. Well, today I'm going to show you how to make some great cocktails. When you want to have a cocktail party, or if you're going to set up a cocktail bar, there's some essentials that you need. So I want to go over what they are today. You're going to need a good blender. You're going to need a cutting board and a small knife. You're going to need several different types of wine openers in case one breaks or somebody walks off with one, etc. These are darling little wine charms. So if you're serving the alcohol out of the same glasses, you can slip one of these around the stem of the glass and people will be able to distinguish theirs from someone else. You also need some different size shot glasses. You need a long handled spoon, very important. You need a peeler, just a regular vegetable peeler, to peel your lemon and your lime twists. You need a zester. What you do with the zester I'll show you later in today's show, but you just put this along the outer edge of your citrus and it makes little tiny flakes. You need some tiny bar tongs to pick up like your olives for a martini or your cherries for a Manhattan or whatever. Here's your juicers. This one is for lime. This one is for lemons. You need a pestle and a mortar. The reason why is because we're incorporating a lot of different herbs in drinks these days, like basil and thyme and mint. So you're going to need to kind of crush those, muddle those with these. Also, I like to sometimes bring home my alcohol and put it in a fancy container, or sometimes I'll just leave it in the bottle, but maybe I'll decorate the bottle. Sometimes maybe I won't decorate the bottle. I'll just put it out like this. You also need to have a shaker. This is essential, especially if you're making a martini. You also need an ice bucket and a scooper for the ice bucket. You need a measuring cup, say about a half cup, a half a teaspoon, no more than this. And you need an opener to open beer with, or any cans of cream de cocoa or cream de casas or whatever you're going to have. And a nice bar towel and a bucket filled with ice. So with that said, let's get going on our first cocktail. Now you have to make sure that you hold this so you don't have an accident, because if you try and do it with one hand, you know what can happen. The lid can come off and look at how nice and frosted. You're going to have your Manhattan all over the place. Then you're just going to unscrew the top, and this has, as you can see, a screen already. So we're just going to pour this out. Yummy. And I like green in everything. So again, I'm just going to snip some mint. Mint and bourbon go together anyway. And kind of put this like this. And there's your cranberry Manhattan. When I lived in Monterey, I was very familiar, let's say, with tequila sunrises. One of my friends used to love to drink them. So if we'd ever go to the ocean, you know, in the early afternoon, we'd make a tequila sunrise, because I'm not into drinking at 5 a.m. when the sun is up. And we'd sip our tequila sunrise and watch the waves come in and just chat, maybe sometimes bring a book. So anyway, every time I make one of these, I have fond memories of my life in Monterey. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our shaker again, and we're going to put in some ice. You want to make it nice and cold. Now sometimes if you can find beautiful bottles that already have the alcohol in them, I really love to buy them like this. Yes, they're more expensive, but isn't that beautiful? I mean, you can do so much with this bottle. You could just leave it out. You could put flowers in it later. I mean, if you were having a Mexican dinner party, you could use this as a centerpiece. So anyway, be on the lookout for things like this. So what we're going to do next is we're going to put in our tequila. Oh, look at that beautiful color. And we're going to put in some orange juice. If you use fresh orange juice, it's better. Oranges are just starting to come into season now, so they don't have that good juice flavor, so it's okay to cheat sometimes. And now a couple of these. Very simple drink. And cap your shaker. Shake it. Get your glass ready. Look at how icy this is. Keep your hands on this. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And then we're going to take a little bit of our lime zest. We're just going to kind of float it like that. So I said to myself, Jenny, if you like a tequila sunrise, why don't you invent a tequila sunset? So I did. So what I did was I decided, instead of always using a shaker, I'd probably do something in a glass. So just put in a few ice cubes into the glass. Not to put in a lot, but just a few, maybe about this. Because what happens, and my friend, my special guest today will tell, well, I'll get to that in a minute, but you're gonna love his philosophy for not using much ice in a drink. And you know what? He's right. But anyway, getting back to our drink, we're going to put in a little bit of Chambord, which is a raspberry flavored liqueur. About 3/4 of a shot glass, just pour that in. And then the lime that I got the peelings from, this is still full of great juice. So we're going to roll it back and forth. And the reason why we do that is that it softens it and you'll get more juice from it. Just on the heel of your hand, roll it back and forth. And then we're going to cut it on our cutting board. We're going to put it into our lime juicer. Just going to put that in like that. Open up a little bit of ginger ale. Stir it up. Add a nice couple of twists of lime, and there you have it. If I ever do decide I'm going to have a cocktail, I love margaritas. In fact, my margarita drinking friend, Mike Taylor, who is my guest today, will be coming on shortly. I want to tell you a story about these beautiful glasses. One year I took a girls' trip to Mexico with 8 of my girlfriends, and I happened to bring along a suitcase that was empty, that was made of parachute material that could stretch and stretch and stretch. I got 8 of these glasses in that, a wooden salad bowl, and those beautiful lily patterns that you see. I was able to get a vase and a soap dish and another piece made with that. So every time I have a margarita and drink out of this, I always think of that great trip I had with the girls. So my friend Mike and I disagree on margaritas, and the more I thought about it, the more I thought, you know what, he's absolutely right. I love to make mine slushy and put in all the ingredients and pour it out, and it's nice and slushy. He says to me, but Jenny, you're getting the taste of the ice as it melts, not the true margarita flavor. And I thought about it, you know what, he's right, because when the ice does melt, it will water it down. So I'm going to make Mike's margarita today. So we're going to start with some tequila. And I'm going to put it like this. And we're going to put this here. A little Cointreau, which is something that's orange flavored. I've used Grand Marnier before, and that's been also very good. It's a little sweeter though, but I like sweet drinks sometimes. We're going to add some Cointreau to that. And then we're going to add some fresh lime juice to that. We like it nice and limey. Then for a little added lime, we're going to take the zester and we're just going to zest a little bit. Like this. We're going to stir it up. We're going to add a twist of lime. Couple of twists. Mike Taylor's margarita. And with that said, I'd like to introduce my guest, Mike Taylor. Mike, how are you?
I'm great, Jenny. Thanks for having me. I see I got here just in time.
You did. Are you shaking?
Yes, I'm ready for some.
I figured as much. Some of you might recognize Mike. Mike has his own television show on Channel 7 on Comcast.
Mondo Calaveras.
He's also the editor of the Sierra Lodestar, the paper that I write for, and he's a very dear friend to boot. So with that said, he's going to make you a drink called the Green Monster. And when he puts all the ingredients together, you're going to know why it's a monster. So I'm going to step over here and let you have the kitchen.
Well, the beauty of the Green Monster, Jenny, is that you can kind of mix it to your own desires.
Okay.
Now, my story for this drink, and I'm going to kind of make it as I'm telling you this story, because that way we're moving.
Okay.
I learned this drink in Grass Valley at the California Bluegrass Association's Father's Day Bluegrass Festival.
Okay.
Now, that'll give you a little bit of an idea what inspired this drink, I think, because I learned it from a man whose name I'm not going to divulge. I believe he's gone to the great margarita factory in the sky.
Well, he's in a good place then.
He is. But this drink was a very closely guarded secret. I had to go to 3 different festivals over 3 years to kind of earn his trust. And when he divulged the ingredients and sort of the way it went together, I was blown away at how simple it was. Now, the beauty of this drink, like I said, is that you can kind of tailor it to your own desires. Now, what I've done is filled the blender with ice.
Right.
And then you take about a half a can of limeade. Now, I use a little bit more now because there's one ingredient that you can't find anymore.
Which is?
And that's lime Kool-Aid.
No, you can't.
You can't find lime Kool-Aid anywhere.
And we grew up on lime Kool-Aid and bologna sandwiches, right, Mike?
And what I learned also is that you cannot substitute the lemon lime flavor because it really goofs up the flavor of this drink. The beauty of this is that it's really, really limey. It kind of takes the margarita to another level on several sort of levels. But we've got the limeade in there. And then what we do, now the way this gentleman made these, this is where it got scary.
Okay,
and you're going to see this slurry and you're going to think, oh my gosh, we're all going to be dead after we drink a sip of this. But what he did is he went about a quarter of the blender with tequila and a quarter of the blender with vodka.
Holy cow.
But what you're doing here is you're making what I call the slurry, which is what is going to go into the bottom of our drink.
Okay.
And it's going to make it's kind of the basis of the drink because this does come out nice and slushy. It's the perfect summer camping drink.
I can see now. We'll
tone it down in a minute.
That was toning it down?
No, we're going to tone it down in a minute. You'll learn where we get our mixability here. Kind of want to make sure that's a good slurry, and it is.
Perfecto.
So then what we do is you take, now usually when camping I've got a nice 32-ounce tumbler because that's how you want to drink.
Fills it to the
and that is because what you do, this is how you control how strong your drink actually gets. Because what we do is we squeeze in a half a lime.
Okay.
And then that just stays in the glass.
Oh,
we're camping here, so this is all do it on the fly.
Okay.
And so you throw that in there. I didn't roll these like I'm supposed to. You can
That's all right.
punish me later.
Oh, never.
But the lime helps further lime this thing.
Yeah, okay.
And then there is the squirt. Now this is how you control how strong your drink is ultimately going to be.
Okay.
Because what I'm going to do, I do this professionally. So I go about 50-50.
Perfect.
For you, I'm going to
Well,
go
it looks
a
good
little
so
bit
far.
stronger than that, or
No,
a little bit weaker than that, excuse me. So you're going to get some more squirt.
Thank you.
We're going to do most of that bottle. And then what we do is we add the magic elixir.
Oh, look at how beautiful
And
slushy. Oh,
this is
what a
the
great summer drink this would be.
ultimate drink
My God.
around the campfire after the bluegrass show. I have seen more artists have one or two of these. You don't need to stir it at all. It's ready to go. Now what you do is you roam from campground to campground and enjoy the bluegrass music.
Well, to friendship and cocktails.
And green
to friendship and
monsters.
cocktails and green monsters. Oh my gosh.
Tasty, isn't it?
Very, very, and you don't taste the alcohol.
Now what you
That
do,
surprises me.
when he used to make them, you had to watch him because the second round got stronger than the first round. So everybody learned that you could manage your first slushy, and then you usually had to go to the restroom and you got back to camp okay, and then you got a second one. Well, you better have had plans for the night because you're spending it in the campground. But it was wonderful because at the Bluegrass Festival, the crowd is very family friendly. It's not a hardcore drinking, we're going to get messed up kind of a thing.
Good.
We're enjoying the music, we're enjoying each other's company,
Got it.
and we're enjoying a refreshing summer
Well,
beverage.
I'll tell you, after I watched Mike put in the tequila and the vodka, I thought this is going to be so strong. You don't even taste it.
You really don't, and
You
that's where all the
don't
lime
taste it.
comes in. But you can kind of
I'm so
taste
amazed.
how that lime Kool-Aid would help, couldn't you? Because it would give it that extra punch. Yeah.
Here's to you.
Tasty.
As I told you, nowadays when they're making cocktails, they're using a lot of fresh herbs. I know all of you remember the old good vodka gimlet or the gin gimlet. Well, today we're going to make a basil thyme gimlet. The first thing that you want to do, and I've made a small little amount here, is to put equal parts of sugar and water into a pan and bring it to a boil. Then I want you to put in some fresh thyme sprigs, which look like this, and some fresh basil, maybe a couple leaves of basil and a couple of sprigs of thyme. And then you set it aside and you let it cool. So the next step you're going to do is you're going to take a couple leaves of basil and you're going to put them in your mortar and you're going to just bruise them. Now the reason why you bruise them is because you want to release the oils. And as you can see, just by rubbing it together, it reduced it to almost nothing. It kind of pulverized it. And this is probably pretty good. Then you're going to add some gin. To this. You're going to just kind of mix it around. You're going to add some fresh lime. I love the aroma of fresh citrus. And kind of muddle it all around. And we're going to put that right into the shaker. Going to do that. Then we're going to add some ice. A couple scoops of ice. We're going to add some of our syrup that we just made with the thyme and the basil. A little bit more ice. And we're going to shake away. Keep both hands on it so we don't have those accidents. And you know it's pretty well mixed together when the container itself gets that nice frost on it. Then we're going to remove the lid. We're going to pour it in. Oh, what a pretty color. You can really get the aroma of that lime. And let's snip a nice leaf of basil. Let's lay that in there. Maybe snip, let me find a pretty thyme. One of these. We're going to lay that in there. And there's our thyme basil gimlet. Now, for those of you that don't consume alcohol for whatever your reason, I haven't forgot about you. I've made 2 nice cocktail thoughts, and I'm going to show them to you now. The first one we're going to make is going to be made with fresh cranberry juice and pineapple juice. And we're going to fill a shaker with some ice, just a couple scoops. And we're going to put in equal parts of cranberry juice and pineapple juice. This will be very, very refreshing. And then, instead of decorating with the mint, we're going to actually strip some off, take it at the top, pull it down. It comes off very easy, as you can see. We're going to just add that to this, and whoops, get the lid. My little machine's getting a workout today. Normally I only use it for my power drinks, but look at this. Isn't that pretty? And of course, the piece of mint that we had, we're going to break the stem down, we're going to add it to the glass, and there we go. Now, here's another very, very simple, easy drink. Put some ice into a glass, add some apple juice, and then we're just going to top it off with a little bit of ginger ale. I'm not even going to stir it, I'm just going to kind of let it settle down. And again, where would I be without mint and cocktails? And there you go. There's a nice little cranberry pineapple fizz for you, and a very simple apple juice ginger ale drink. So let's get ready for our presentation. And I better call a lot of my neighbors and invite them in, because I've got cocktails galore. Well, I hope you've had as much fun watching Jenny's Kitchen as we have filming it today. Right, Mike?
Definitely.
So let's sample some of these. Why don't you do the pomegranate Manhattan, and I'm going to try the pineapple rum. This is real good. It has a real tropical flavor.
This is woodsier than I expected. That's really tasty.
But it's good, yeah. Okay, why don't you do the tequila sunrise? I'll do the tequila sunset.
Okay.
Oh, I love the smell of that lime and pomegranate.
That's just like
this is like
a little bit of orange juicy tequila. Yeah,
that's nice. Good. Yeah, this has a nice little raspberry flavor with the tequila too. Maybe they should invent a raspberry tequila first.
There you go. There's probably one out there at the rate they're going with infusing so many flavors into alcohol.
I picked up some the other day. It was chocolate vodka. Okay, now you have the basil thyme gin gimlet. I'm going to do Mike's margarita.
Wow, that is really tasty.
This is really strong, but I made it for you. So
it's perfect then.
It is. And my favorite drink of the day, believe it or not, was the Green Monster, the one I was so afraid of that I thought, would be so overpowering, but it's not. So with that said, thank you for being on Jenny's Kitchen today.
Thanks for having me, Jenny.
Viewers, it's a great time of the year to make cocktails. We have the holidays coming up, and summer's not over yet, so dig in and enjoy yourself. Happy cocktailing.
Happy cocktails.